Originally written to take place in New York City, Collateral is the story of a cab driver who becomes an accessory to a series of homicides that happen all in one night. And while the movie shows parts of Los Angeles that are usually not presented to us by Hollywood, it ultimately portrays them as places with criminality, resulting in an oversimplification of what these spaces contribute to the culture of LA. But putting aside any problems with the story, casting decisions, etc., Collateral does manage to visually introduce the viewer to different subsections of Los Angeles, allowing for a wider, more diverse audience than the typical target audience to relate with the metropolitan region in a more intimate way. And while these characters make pit stops in many locations throughout LA County, three of those locations are able to present us with a unique take of what comedy means to LA as a community. A fictional jazz club in the African American community of Lamar Park, a now closed Mexican nightclub in the city of Pico Rivera, and a still existing EDM club in Koreatown. And although these constitute more than one comedy within the movie, we would argue that the three of them represent an ethnic club music scene that as a concept plays a very specific role within each of these communities. But what is it about these places or this concept that allows the viewer to experience a different type of comedy? How does comedy happen differently at night than during the day? What is the role of music, dance, and culture in the process of comedy? How does race fit into this conversation? As we know, Los Angeles is divided into many neighborhoods, mostly segregated by race. Ultimately, places like these clubs provide a safe space for youth in different neighborhoods to experience their own culture, to explore what it means to be young under a spectrum of acceptability based on their own ethnic norms and as a basis for relating to the greater American culture. These clubs then become something for youth of color to call their own, which is very important for disenfranchised communities who have so little control over the conditions that affect them on a day-to-day basis. But how do these nightclubs relate to people from their own respective community versus those who might be considered outsiders? How does Collateral serve as a form of information exchange for the viewer to connect to each neighborhood depicted in the movie? And most importantly, how do these scenes humanize or not the people inside these nightclubs? And what does that mean for the movie's goals of presenting a more diverse Los Angeles than the viewer is used to? In order to answer these questions, it would be necessary to have more knowledge about the history of these specific neighborhoods and the people residing in them, something that Hollywood would probably not undertake.